how to use social engineering in a covert access assignment. The skills that you will learn here should be used for education and business ethical purposes only. I'm just sharing my knowledge, like my passion, like what I'm excited about. So please be good. And yeah, hope you will enjoy my presentation. So what is social engineering? Yeah, kind of like in my own words, art of manipulating people into performing actions, divulging confidential information, or into granting access, often without technical exploitation. And I will start with a few examples. This is an example of Barbara Corcoran. She was scammed out of a lot of money. Yeah. And what was the technique used there? So that was business email compromise, email spoofing. And the attacker used a lookalike email address to impersonate a trusted employee and trick Barbara's bookkeeper into wiring money for a false real estate transaction. And example number 2 is the Cabarrus County hack from 2018. They fell victim to a ransomware attack that disrupted their operations, including public safety and tax services. And what technique was used there was phishing. So the attack tricked an employee into clicking into a malicious mail attachment, allowing the ransomware to infiltrate the network. And the impact was quite big because that's a lot of money. And they had to, they decided to pay the ransom. Okay, so there are 4 phases of social engineering. Reconnaissance, engagement, exploitation, execution. And reconnaissance, it's gathering information on target's environment and identifying potential entry points, planning the approach for the attack. Engagement part is when you establish communication with the target, you're building trust, rapport, and the sense of urgency there. And exploitation, manipulating the target to divulge sensitive information. At the end, we have execution, so the final phase when the attacker completes their objective, exfiltrating data, maybe deploying malware and covert it tracks. And I will use the Cabarrus County hack to explain those phases again. So in the reconnaissance phase, the attackers gathered information on employees, internal operations, and the IT infrastructure. They identified potential targets like employees handling emails and sensitive data, then crafted a phishing email designed to appear trustworthy and legitimate. And then in the engagement phase, the county employee received a phishing email containing a malicious attachment, and the email was crafted to mimic internal communication, tricking the employee into opening the attachment because he didn't see anything suspicious there, just another email from a colleague. And then the ransomware was deployed in the exploitation phase, encrypting critical government files. And the execution, the attacker demanded a ransom to restore access. So now I'm going to get back to the reconnaissance phase. That's the phase when you gather open source intelligence. And so you can use techniques like social media intelligence, maybe online social media, online activity of the person that we are investigating, maybe search engine data mining or scraping the, and also we can check public records or information matching or verifying the data from the broker services. I'm a bit nervous. I apologize if my voice breaks. Okay, understanding the target, what are we looking for? So in the reconnaissance phase, we are looking for the company structure. So what is the hierarchy of the organization? Who works there, employees, vendors, contractors, and then what is the culture's behavior, like what is the dress code. We're going to need need that knowledge for building a pretext to approaching the office in person. So I think that's very important to do your research first. We are going to look for business processes, security protocols, is there a third-party cleaning service that comes at specific times? That's a very important information to have. And employee habits, they are like very kind people, that they open doors, like keep the doors open for guests, or I don't know, maybe you have your hands busy, so will they like help you get into the building? So I think that's important as well. So another thing that I wanted to talk about is building rapport. And what is rapport? It's a friendly, harmonious relationship when you build mutual trust. And that when you do it, it makes the communication possible and easy. So we don't really want to build negative rapport and like make the other person angry, or I don't know, say something that is like making maybe not agreeable with the person. So we are trying to be like finding common interests. Maybe that person likes hockey, or like, maybe their favorite band, or like something that you have in common. Maybe they like The Office, the TV show. I do. So maybe you can start there. So, and you can also use OSINT to learn likes and dislikes of that person, to know where, like, when that person can get angry. So we don't want to go there. So more of the likes. So we want them to like us. And then we have elicitation. So that's when you subtly extract information from the target, and like a carefully crafted conversation. And first you start with talking about the mutual interest that you already researched, and you know what that is. And then you can go further into that. And when you build rapport, that person likes you and wants to talk with you, then you can ask like very specific questions about like the place of employment, or like the information that you're really after. And so the target might share the knowledge, like being eager, like wanting, because we all are human and we all want to be liked. So that person might go with that like very human character trait, and like share some things to appear cool and like, I don't know, interesting to the person that is talking to him or her. And so, then pretexting. I think pretexting is like one of the most important things after Reconnaissance. When you're on a physical pen test, you're trying to get into a building, so you have to do your research and like create a persona that really will work in the situation that you want to pursue. So you can pose as a vendor, contractor, or as an employee of another office, wear a wig, disguise, props. So maybe you can come on the first day and act like, as I don't know, someone in their mid-20s, so wear like a blonde wig, like a very baggy clothes, like act relaxed. And then on the second day, you are in like a business suit, you're someone else. They will probably not recognize you. And so I think that's useful if you have to go back to the office like a few times. And maybe on your first day, you just want to go there to do your research. So I specifically put the picture with like a person on the phone, because when you're in the building, you can use your phone like this and record all the time. You're talking to your contractor, you're angry because they did something bad with your toilet, or I don't know, they're building a house for you and they made a mistake. So you're angry, you're like, talking like, and then you're at the same time you're recording on your phone, like where are the cameras, so you don't like look like this. So you have materials to look at later. And so wear disguise with props, and you can also clone an access badge. When you're in the building first times, maybe you will see employees or come back a few times, and then approach an employee to clone his badge in like a very covert way. I will not talk about cloning badges, but just wanted to mention that. Or you can also create a fake one using social media, because people tend to, I work here now, and like share a picture with the laptop and the badge, and like, that happens a lot. Actually, I've seen that on LinkedIn. So that's a thing to consider. And before you go into a building, I think that's very important to have an escape clause. What is your reason to be in the building in the first place, and what could be an escape clause, the reason for you to back off and like leave quickly. So the most extreme one. Sorry, my wife is giving birth, so That's like a very extreme example, but just wanted to give you some, I don't know, room for your imagination here. And yeah, gaining entry initial access. So when you want to arrive to a building, so it depends, but usually normal business hours, you want to blend in. Yeah, if you are being asked confidently, stand your pretext, but also you want to maybe go after work hours, and yeah, if you know what time the cleaning staff comes into the building, when everyone is off home, so maybe you want to go with the cleaning staff because they probably not recognize you. So it depends on the situation, I guess, and you leverage human psychology because employees may feel uncomfortable. I think that's a very human thing. That so if someone acts very official looking and very confident, we don't want to, step on their toe and like they look like they're supposed to be here. So I will not say to them that they have to leave. So you don't want to be in trouble because maybe that's someone from the top of the ladder. And also, if you inside of the building, you do your research before, you can mention a specific employee's name to say, oh, maybe Mark from accounting invited me, or like something like that. And to add it legitimacy that you are here for a meeting with someone that actually works in that company and that people know that person. Okay, so now I have an example. Why do you think that works? Why is his attention so drawn to that female? Yeah, because everyone, like, I entered the room this morning before John Strand talk, and some people looked at me because everyone is wearing black and I'm wearing red. So that's like a good way to pull someone's attention, and I wanted to paint that picture because now we are teleporting into a bank lobby. And so imagine you're in a bank lobby, you enter casually dressed in like normal official clothes. You enter there like coffee stand, you grab a cup of coffee, you just stand there casually watching around, like what is happening. There are like security guards there. There's a booth with even more security guards. You see the camera layout. Everyone is like minding their business. You're just casually drinking your coffee there. And so you approach the security guard like even more, and you see what is happening behind his desk. He has camera feed on his desk. He's not really watching it because he's doing something else. He's busy with other tasks. So you made note of this. So then, and you see that next to the security guard, there is a gate that opens when you scan your badge. And you have your badge, but it's not really a real badge. It's only like a picture. So yeah, it will not open the door for you. But then you have a friend, and that friend is entering the bank lobby wearing a beautiful red dress. And what you think happens now? She enters the lobby, walks into the middle of it, and then drops a piece, like a pile of documents, and starts chaotically picking them up. And so everyone is looking at her. And so that's a good moment to jump the turnstile without scanning your badge. And because the security guard is not really watching the camera feed, like you probably will not be, detected that quickly. So just wanted to paint that picture, and that's like to make sure that we are on the same page. I wanted to say that this is from Brian Harris' story from like a real engagement he did, and from the Covert access team from the trainings I took. So that story really, made my imagination alive there. So, okay, and once we are on the same page, we are in the building, so we are moving through it. And so what will be like advice to do it right. So bring your get out of the jail card with you. I think that's the most important part when you're just breaching security and you're in the building already. So that's a document confirming that the client gave you permission to perform the security assessment, like with contact information. And that's very important to, before you enter the building, call that person and like make sure they are close to their phone, because like a lot of crazy things may happen and you might be detected and like held responsible by the security guards, and like they are usually armed. So that's, we don't want to make them angry. So make sure that you have the contact information, that you have the letter in your pocket in a way that when they tell you to raise your hands, you can tell them, oh, this is the letter, you can pick it from my pocket. Don't try to pick it out yourself, because sudden movements, people with guns, not a good idea, I think. Okay, and then when you are inside, document your findings, take photos if permitted. So that, everything here, like of security flaws, access points, and unattended sensitive data. So, but when you're taking photos and like video feed, like recording, you have to have your specific permission from the client. Is that okay with him? And only do that with the people inside of the office. Don't record like random people and don't follow anyone outside of the building. That's a big no-no. So just wanted to make sure I say that. And the ethics of it, make sure that the operation adheres to the rules of engagement or legal agreements with the client. And look, don't do anything reckless there. And flexibility is also a very important trait. Adapt on the fly. Bring a friend with you, because move in pairs. Bring a friend with you because that person can create a distraction. Usually when on engagement you have few crew members, so one can be a burner. So that person has to, I don't know, make a commotion, make a fool of himself, burn himself, and then he is like escorted out of the building. But then he pulls attention out of you because maybe you're lockpicking or you're trying to enter an office and you don't want people going there. So, for example, a person that could be a burner is a good idea, and also like move in pairs, because I have read an example when the auditor were in the elevator and going up to the office, and he was with a colleague, and there was a person entering the elevator, and that person looked at them very like suspiciously, and like with the face like, what are you doing here, you know, like and then the person that he was with like was a 20 plus old female, and she started saying, oh boss, when are we leaving, because we are doing this audit so long, I'm very hungry, and like when can we leave, I don't want to be here anymore. And then the lady like felt very like empathetic to the hungry girl, and like said, I will help you and like make it more faster for you. What are you here for? And then he explained, we are on an audit, we are going to this floor, and we are going to this office and this, and she just let them in, like allowed to do their audit. And that was very interesting. You have to have the confidence, because then people will probably not say that you shouldn't be here, and avoid hesitating near security sensitive areas, because then when you're acting nervous, then like, why is he nervous? Is he up to something no good? So try to blend in. So use a pretext, think it through, like use the same clothes that the people in the office wear. So you can carry a cup of coffee, because then and act with like walk with purpose, because then probably you're supposed to be there if you're carrying that cup of coffee. Maybe you're a new intern or something. Okay, so I will not tell you to leave. Wear similar, I already said that, but the clothing is important to blend in, and like wear the fake ID badge. So at least the one with the picture. So if someone wants you to show it to them, then you have it. So everything is good. Walk slowly, act casually, don't run, obviously. So I think that's something to mention. And leave no trace, so avoid triggering alarms, causing unnecessary disruptions that could raise concerns. Also, pulling the fire alarm is not advised. I think it's you're endangering lives here because you're pulling them from like a real fire, perhaps. So yeah, don't do it. And I didn't mention that, but when you're picking a pretext and you want to pose as a person with authority, please don't dress as a policeman because that's a very bad idea and could end very badly for you. So just wanted to lay it out there. Exploiting opportunities when you are already in the building. So look for unlocked workstations, unattended computers, open files, access restricted area. Yeah, like maybe you can look for doors slightly open, or like people, like maybe someone is holding the door for you and wants to be nice. And yeah, you can, for example, carry when you're entering the building. Actually, we are in the building, but that will work in both situations. When you want to enter the building, you can also have something that makes your hands busy. So both of your hands are busy. Maybe you're carrying a box of donuts, and you're like, very clumsily trying to approach the door, and then someone like looks at you, and you're like, oh, I'm so late. I have those donuts to this and this person. Maybe mention a name. And you can also like open the box and maybe give one donut to that person to gain new friends there. So that might work. If you have your both hands busy with something, then they might also help you. That's like a very human thing. Also, when you're like exploiting opportunities, you may try dumpster diving, like look for documents, passwords, employee lists. You can try USB drops. And I used payroll here, but also I think a good idea is when you do your research, like find out who is the most beautiful woman in the building that everyone is in love with, And then maybe you can use her, or maybe that's a him, depends who pick up the USB drive. And maybe you can write Deborah's diary on it, or Deborah's pictures. So that person might be very like in love with Deborah, and might want to plug it in like as quickly as possible into his workstation. So that's I don't know, interesting way to go about it, I think. There's also shoulder surfing. You can observe login screens, keypads, disk notes, documents, whatever is lying there, and maybe not supposed to be lying like in the plain sight. So you can take pictures of it and like for future reporting. Gaining access to the server room. You have to know the layout of the office at first. If you want to go anywhere, I'm very bad with directions, so I for sure would have to know where I'm going. So you have to gather information beforehand, and you have to identify entry points, surveillance cameras, security systems, and restricted areas to create like a path that will help you approach your target without detection. Also, access control, like key cards, biometric systems. Like find out what is there. Do your research. A solid cover story. I already mentioned that, but for example, you're implementing security systems and you have to go to the server room for some reason. So that could be a cover story, but think about something that would work with a certain company that you trying to pen test. And security cameras, I think that's a very important and interesting thing because they have blind spots, and you can research what is the blind spot of that camera and create a path for yourself that you will not be filmed. So I also wanted to mention that so do your research, and also like on the picture with the red marks. You can see that perhaps some of those cameras are outside of the building. So do your research, come back to the place when you're going to pen test a few days before, and see, for example, what time the sun sets and what time the sun rises. what is the direction of the sun rays. So because in some situations the sun might be blinding the cameras, and you may just enter without being recorded because the camera is blind. So yeah, there is no feed. Also, yeah. Wi-Fi deauthentication attack. I wanted to mention that because I performed it on my first engagement during the Covert access team training, and I think it was pretty cool. I was playing with the outer, the black device in the corner, and you pretty much forcibly disconnect services from the network using that attack. And I was able to turn off a camera. So I actually shared it on my YouTube during my stream on Twitch. So I just wanted to show you, I will not show the attack itself, but how to turn it off, how it looks like. You can pretend that you're playing with your Garmin watch. It's a bit big, but maybe that's some very sporty watch that you're using there. So yeah, you want to pick which attack what is the thing you want to do with the deauthor. So you want to, select. I'm very clumsy because I was still adrenaline during the engagement. So you're picking the attack. You want to do the authentication one, not the beacon. So okay, let's go back there. Picking and then start. Yeah, and that's when I wanted to finish, because then I would show the real Wi-Fi addresses. So I didn't want to do that. And I wanted to also, in my presentation, because the first part was like very theoretical from books, from internet, from my own research, like from the trainings that I took, but also wanted to share some experience from like people that actually did physical pen tests, were like on Covert access engagements. And this is from the Darknet Diaries, episode 40, No Parking. I think you know this one. So in that example, they found out that the ceiling didn't go all the way through the top, and so they went above the ceiling into the server room, and pretty much dropped on the other side. And I was like pretty much blown away by this example, so I wanted to share it. And what was the failures here? So you should, like, the server room is like the heart of the organization. It should be really securely protected, and their ceiling should be there, and the protection, and like the right doors, and like security cameras all around it and inside. And maybe you want to have pressure sensitive plates to know if something heavy has come into the room, or like if something changed. So I think that's a very interesting example. And so what if you are inside of the server room, you plant the flag and exit pretty much. So usually the client will not ask you to hack the servers or like do anything, plug malicious devices there, because they want it unharmed. But so pretty much the thing usually is, from like my research, that you just plant USB drive, but you can just take a picture with the USB drive that you're in the server room. You don't have to plug it in the server, and that will be enough for the client. So you were in the room with like the ready to go. So that's pretty scary for the client. So that's a good documentation to have. You can also leave a sticky note. That's what I did on the assignment as well. We are looking for safes, for flags, and we were leaving sticky notes under the, for example, printer or in the CEO's office, or in the conference room, because you can leave a device in the conference room as well, and that is going to listen. So that's what is usually happen on an engagement like that. And so important part is also to document as you go. I already mentioned that, but just again, because then there's adrenaline, you're like stressed, and like you feel like in the James Bond movie, perhaps, and you might forget some of the things that you did, or like people that you talked with, like what were the conversation about. So it's important to document, take photos, record the conversation, so you can report it afterwards, like very detailed. And the exit strategy, so leave as discreetly as possible. If your pretext involves a specific time frame, so then adhere to that time frame. So I'll be just 10 minutes. So then you cannot be 1 hour. Oh, oops. But I'm almost finished. So I wanted to say a few words about Mainframe hacking. And we don't do that on an engagement, but just wanted to show off my cool cert and say that this person, Kevin, is going to do more of those trainings. So if you're interested, then you can catch him on LinkedIn. And how to secure your server. I only wanted to talk, you can read the slide, but I wanted to talk about the cleaning stuff most of all. And I wanted to ask you, if you, to your knowledge, is cleaning staff allowed into a server room in your company? If you can raise your hand if someone says yes. Yeah, because no one raises their hand, so that's good. But I don't know you, so I wouldn't use it in a malicious way, but just wanted to prove an example that Brian has on his engagement, find out that actually cleaning staff is the weakest link because they have during his engagement, because not every company allows them in. So that cleaning staff has access to all of the rooms because they have to clean it, they have to keep it clean for the crew to come back and do their job. And he also found out the keys hanging on the card of one of the cleaning, I don't know, was it ladies or male cleaning personnel. But it's interesting that he could just clone those keys and then go anywhere he could. So that's something important to consider, that, don't let cleaning staff everywhere. So because they are not from your company, they are outside contractors, they have low security awareness, they are unsupervised during work hours. They can enter most of the rooms, and to be honest, they are the least paid personnel in the company. So maybe someone could approach them and use their access for monetary payments there. And here I wanted to share some example from Console Cowboys, a friend of mine that did a lot of engagements. And he said take a lot of pictures, a video. Yeah, so usually he wears a shirt with a pocket here and puts his phone here and records the feed. When he's shimming the door, entering the room, so whatever he's doing, that is recorded all the time. So he has documentation for later. You can also install a sniffer or reader in the server room, which will send you codes. That's you can read the slide yourself as well. So there are a lot of ways that you can do malicious things on an engagement. You can slip the lock, because under the door tool as well is something that could work, because you put a lot of security around the server room, but sometimes there are a lot of things that you could not consider that there should be there. So sometimes, for example, the door could be without the dead latch, and you can shim it quickly in a few seconds. So, because some people don't really do physical pen tests and don't know what might be vulnerable. And that's what he said, that he still slipped the door with shim the door. So what else he said that you could do? Then install a fake badge reader next to a door that there was no badge reader before you came there, so the people could just, oh, there is a badge reader, I have to scan my badge again. And so they might just by habit do it, and then you have some badges that you could produce afterwards. And also what he said, he uses LoopNet, which shows buildings for rent, and you have a lot of pictures, what is inside of the building, what is the what kind of a door there is, what is the, sometimes maybe you can DDoS what kind of a lock it's used, what is the security camera maybe. So it's good to do your research before. Yes. So, and also like use the hacker mindset. So if you get like someone to scan their badge on the fake scanner, and their like ID number is 23445. So then maybe you can deduce that the administrator would be 2301, and yeah, you have access then. And the last one is that actually, he said like exiting is never have been a problem. He just goes in very nonchalantly and goes out, and no one really stops him. So, just wanted to share some of his examples with you guys because I think that's pretty cool. And post engagement reporting, I'm still in time, so that's good. You have to write in your report what tactics were used, what vulnerabilities have you identified, and obviously the recommendations for improving security, social engineering awareness, and access control measures, so the client can be more aware and make sure that he repairs those vulnerabilities and they are not there anymore. And also cleanup is very important, that you take all of the gear, don't leave anything listening in the conference room, your gear lying around there. So just take your stuff with you, because that's, may pose some questions.
My question is, do you feel like your personality will naturally kind of help you in this? Or do you tend to take on a persona to be able to do that?
I think both, actually, because I'm naturally very you can see I'm a bit chaotic, maybe a bit clumsy. So that might be like a good thing to do, because then people want to help the poor person get out of the trouble. So that may work with me getting through the building. And also if I'm, for example, pretending that I lost my badge and trying to find it in my purse, then okay, go in. So, but also creating a persona. So on the first day you're clumsy, but on the second day you could be someone else. So that may also work. So yeah, both.
Do you ever feel like you made a mistake, or there was a moment where you were nervous in the engagement?
So if you, if I understand, I hope I understand the question correctly, but if you make a mistake during an engagement and, for example, you get caught, so actually that's a good thing, because then the client is secure and the employees were alerted. So yeah, but then you burned. If you make a mistake, then you burned, and you have to leave, and that's it. But there are two ways to get out of it. You can use your escape clause and say, "Oh, I'm in the wrong building," or something like that, and then go back on the next day, dress differently. But if you're really, really burned, they're calling the police, and you have to tell, "Okay, I'm in an engagement," you're good job, guys, that you caught me, and so. Depends on the situation, but both can happen.
Do you have any insight on what organizations should be doing to try to mitigate these kinds of social engineering manipulation techniques, in light of this kind of access to data?
I think important part is to make the employees aware that this is a thing, to train them, because and what is also a good idea is to give them, for example, a financial or like a reward. So if you catch the person that is trying to do a malicious thing, then you will get a reward. But usually the bonus might work. But what I also did my research and heard works better is if you give them days off, and then the people want the bonus or the days off, and they will be very had eyes around their head, watching if there's something happening that shouldn't be happening there. So I think the most important part is to make people aware, train them, and make them very conscious, and if even perform the training that they know how the phishing email looks like what they should look at, to check the email from what is coming through. If they want you to wire money or perform an action, and there is urgency in the email, then I think good idea is to call the person that is writing you this email and like, I received a very strange email. Like, did you actually wanted me to wire those money? Because they were like, that's successful attacks that someone, okay, let's go. And they didn't make sure. So yeah, I think training people and like, so everyone is aware.
Thank you.